If you are not subscribed to our channel, please take a moment and do so. We'd appreciate you clicking that like button and hitting that subscribe. Today, we're breaking down the data, headlines, and signals shaping housing, finance, and consumer sentiment right now.
Send it.
All right, let's go. Let's start off with the 2025 NAR's profile of home buyers and sellers. It reveals quite a bit. And the sentiment is people are using real estate agents now more than ever. 91% of sellers use a real estate agent, and only 5% of homes sold for sale by owners. So usage of a real estate agent is an all-time high, and the percentage of FSBOs all-time low.
Sounds about right with the market.
Yep.
Oh, so you're just going to point right to the market. So you don't think it has anything to do with the actual agent and the value that they bring?
I mean,
they do bring
the fluctuation when the market's crazy. I think more people will just, they'll go rogue and go without a real estate agent and try to find deals themselves. But when it's kind of like a slow market,
it's like everything, right? People they never buy in a dip, and they always buy at the top. Right, it's the same type of mentality where if it's easy, they're gonna, I got this, we could do it and move easy. But now that it's tough, now that we're in the weeds, that we're in the mud, I guess I better go talk to that pro.
So you guys think it's kind of market based, and if the market starts to speed up a little, maybe we'll see the usage of realtors go down a little?
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously you got all these new builders. They'll say we're not paying realtor.
Yep.
When the market's really hot.
Well,
yeah,
remember
these were
Lennar?
specifically listings. So
but people will go into they'll walk into new builds and buy houses without realtors.
Yeah, Lennar got rid of their own salespeople for quite a while. Remember that? I think that may even still be going on in some communities. But there was all kinds of communities where you could just
walk through and
self-tour. Yep.
We'll say in the contract.
Well, interesting. Here's the reality, though. If you used a real estate agent to sell your home, you made a lot more coin. So homes sold by real estate agents sold for $65,000 more than on average what it sold a FSBO for.
Now, I love that because that stat has been true through and through. And most of the time people don't hire a real estate agent for the main reason of to save money.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
And the reality of it is you end up putting more money in your pocket. And the reality of that is because they know the market. They can help you negotiate. They can help you navigate the inspection period and all of the little bumps and speed bumps that go, or speed bumps and hurdles is what I meant to say, that come through the transaction process. They're there to guide you through it and make sure you don't give up too much.
Yep. I see this true too, because you see the for sale by owners on Zillow, and you look at some of the pictures and you're like, why is this house so cheap? Like, why do they have it listed for low? So, and why isn't it sold yet? So, they don't get the amount of traffic, I guess.
Exposure, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Well, it does surprise me that with all of the ways that we can bring a property to market on our own, right? You mentioned Zillow as being one of them, and there are other sites out there. And I mean, come on, we know the guy that started the whole lawsuit that took down the real estate industry for the billions of dollars.
Took it down.
Yeah, he did. I mean, he changed the way compensation. Joshua Sitzer, he even started a platform for sellers to list their own home. So with all of that technology, you still see the adoption and usage of real estate agent growing over time. It's not going down. It's
Where is that guy now? Where is his company like a multi-billion-dollar company? I haven't heard about it lately.
Landian was the name of the company.
Landian. Where's Landian?
I don't know. I haven't even tried Google. I haven't looked at it at all. Let's see if we can find it.
One that I think that is just so polarizing, the company that we should mention based on what you just said, Kayla, is actually Opendoor, right? They launched and moved, and I mean that whole iBuyer movement of whether it be, knock to a degree, obviously OfferPad, even just that whole arena is what I'm getting at. But when you really look at what they've done, they've obviously gone direct to consumer, and they've had real estate agents working directly for them. But if you look at their models, that now as they progress and the way that they're fighting through some of the mud is absolutely the agent partnerships, right? How many shareholder reports have they poured out now where they've been now focusing on agents, because the amount of deals that they're doing, a large percentage came from their agent partners.
They're focusing on them now, but they're chairman of the board.
Yeah,
so
I know. I was just going to pull that
up. They are going to kill the agent partnerships.
And so,
when are they going to kill them? And when it's good for them to kill them.
Exactly.
So these agents are just walking. They're walking in it's like the cows walking to the slaughter. They're just walking right through there.
They're getting fattened up.
They're giving them some food here while they're walking right through the line.
Yeah, there's a lot of relationship capital between the real estate agent 100%. And the client. And I think that a company like Opendoor is capitalizing on that today. But what we know is their chairman has been very vocal on X and has posted a few things, the biggest one being kill agent partnerships. That's the path. That is the path to
Good old
revenue.
Keith Boyce. I still baffles
Yes.
me. Like, what a moron. I'm sorry.
I think, I don't think
It's
it's
his
so much
true
as a
self.
moron. I mean, the guy's brilliant. How can you
No,
deny
he
that?
is brilliant. What a moron of a statement.
What I think it is I think that once you surpass a certain amount of wealth, you become extremely out of touch with everyday things. And when it comes to buying and selling a home, someone like a Keith Raboy is extremely out of touch with what that is actually like. In fact, I would venture to say that most technology companies in real estate that start as technology companies that don't have founders that have been in real estate are out of touch with what it's like, because you don't know what it's like to work with a buyer and seller unless you have. And it is a very emotional and complex process. And so, okay, off my soapbox here, another stat that came out of the NAR report that I thought was really insightful. So 2/3 of sellers, they chose an agent through a referral or a prior relationship.
Oh, yeah.
But check this out. 80% of them only met with one agent and they hired that agent.
That's why it's so important to get in front of people. That's why you answer your phone and set an appointment and get there. Right?
That statement reminds me of a real estate coach that I used to follow and pay attention to when I very first got in the business, David Knox. You don't have to be good. You just have to be there.
That's right.
Isn't that funny, right?
Yep.
How inspiring if you
know.
suck,
Good. You just have to be there.
right? Like
He was just talking about the importance of being there.
It's true. I
so
heard
true.
Jason say this last week. You said 90% of success is just showing up.
Oh gosh, yes.
And so you hear these kind of statements, these encompassing statements about like, you really don't need to have like extra talent or be the smartest or be the best communicator. If you just show up and if you're there.
More conversations equals more deals.
100%. And not only that, here's the thing I think we're all missing with this. Through being there and through doing it over and over and over and over
It's
and
this,
over.
Elliot. I
Yep.
just talked about this the other day, the confidence competence loop.
Yep, I love that one.
I love it too.
And
It's
you
that infinity
actually
loop.
do get good though.
Yeah,
right?
you
like
do.
like reps matter. It's
It
just
does,
it's just
for
the
sure.
reality of it. And I'll throw this last one in. I'll give this to you, Chris, so you can put it, because it's actually one of the coolest things I've seen in a minute. Where it was Arnold, this throwback statement on him where he's talking about the gym doesn't lie. Right? It doesn't judge you. It doesn't do anything. It gives you exactly what you put into it. And it was just like, oh my gosh, that is so true.
Let's go pump some weights.
That's what he was. I mean, and
So if I just show up at the gym, I'll get buff.
you got to do the work.
I can't sit on the bench and just play on my phone.
You just walk into the gym, you get your pump on.
You're just
All right.
bound to pick up a weight.
Consumers are definitely showing confidence in real estate agents, but one of the most watched voices in finance is taking a step back. So Michael Burry, the guy who called The Big Short and predicted the subprime meltdown, released a letter saying he's done. He doesn't know what this market is doing anymore, and he's out of sync with it, and he is calling it a quits.
Yeah, interesting for him to do it right now. But yeah, he's probably just, I mean, he's a rich guy. Just like, yeah, I don't do this anymore. I don't want to. He did say that he's gonna, still invest his own capital, but
Just
he's
no one else's.
selling out the fund and giving back the money and walking away.
Crazy.
I'm really surprised too, just because talk about one of the Warren Buffett. It's not timing the market; it's time in the market, and that's how you win, right? I mean, it's if you're willing to play the long game, if you're willing to do the reps.
He's already won though, so he's like
Valid.
He's retiring while he's still up, I think.
And
Because then he doesn't know what's going on, so he's like, you know what?
Yeah.
I just won the championship. I'm gonna take off here.
I'm gonna ride off into the sunset.
hang my jersey up and ride off, right?
Yep.
That's one way to do it, I guess.
But then you have Buffett that, I mean, he never retired. I mean, he basically
He just said,
he's
I'm
gonna
gonna
die
stop,
next
I'm
year.
gonna
I mean,
stop writing
look,
letters. That's his end all. Yeah.
He's just gonna stop writing letters. Okay, that's all he's not doing.
Essentially.
Yeah.
Well, while investors are stepping back, everyday Americans are Googling something and it is trending. I'm surprised by this. There is a record number of people that are Googling $2,000 stimulus.
Wow.
And stimulus checks. And so phrasing around the stimulus is being Googled and it's trending right now.
Well, that correlates exactly what we were just talking about on the last podcast, where there's a cash crunch, right?
Yeah.
Like there is absolutely a cash crunch on Main Street, right? I mean, obviously Wall Street is filling it right now with a lot of the cyclical things that are going on.
Banks in the repo markets,
Yep.
right? They're
Yep.
feeling a cash crunch and
Yep.
they're willing to go borrow at that repo rate at the overnight desk, even though it diminishes their credibility because they are in a liquidity crisis.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It is coming. I think the printing presses are more than gears greased at this point, right? I think that they are they're started.
Well, Tom Bilyeu did a podcast yesterday, and it was really interesting. And he talked about just how essentially everything is a bubble right now. He believes everything, stocks, housing, crypto, everything is in a bubble right now. And of course, he points to what we talk about often on this show, and that's the printing of money and the M2 money supply, and how it's just completely, it's just hockey sticked. And so he predicts that in the next 10 years, we'll see the bubble burst, and it won't happen gradually. It will be suddenly. But then he also, towards the end, gives a little bit of hope in that, hey, if we can generate revenues through AI and things like that, then if we can release the stable coin worldwide and that becomes a thing, that there are some ways out for the US. But ultimately what we're looking at is massive currency debasement, which we've already felt and seen a little bit, that ultimately could lead to a civil war.
Yeah, these generation alpha, right, is the next generation. They're gonna be pissed once this next big print happens. I mean, and they figure out what happened. There's because it's all about confidence, and if they don't have confidence in the dollar, it's gonna go down the toilet. And I think that we still have people that are like they're walking to the slaughter, and they don't really see what's happening on the sidelines. And
but people are waking up.
And
you're starting to see more voices talk about what's happening economically within the frameworks of what's actually happening. And I think that in and of itself is just proof that we are starting to realize 100%. We can't be fooled any longer. He talked about how the entire monetary system is a Ponzi scheme of belief. And when that belief evaporates, that is when the bubble bursts, and it doesn't happen slowly, suddenly. So it was really interesting. Good podcast. I'd highly recommend just watching it.
Yeah, it's all debt based, right? And like when you're talking about the ability of belief, right? Your belief to repay, your
ability to repay.
Exactly.
Right.
And one of the things that I heard Mark Moss, I was just listening to this morning, talking about that a lot of businesses and loans and equity capital, VC capital, they'll tie a company up or tie an agreement up a lot of times for 10 years because that's what it usually takes to realize and invest and return. And part of his argument on this right now is exactly with the AI and tech piece, that your ability to repay because of some of these services and whatever else is dramatically changing. And so he's talking about stretch stride straight, and all within strategy, and their ability to basically on their balance sheet that they have right now is the ability to pay out for the next 100 years as it sets, right? And like talking about the importance of setting up Bitcoin treasuries for companies, et cetera, and just the increased by the thousands that is about to go down on that.
Bitcoin treasury companies, we believe in them. We believe that you could see these Bitcoin treasury companies transition to be, the future massive banks, right? Like the Bank of Americas, the JP Morgans. Bitcoin today, though, let's look at numbers. On the month, Bitcoin is down 14%. Today, it's trading at about 96.
It's wild. I never thought we'd see below 100 again, and it's dipped underneath 100 twice this month now.
Yeah.
So I posted something today. You guys got to watch it. Let's watch it really quick.
Okay, let's do it.
This terrible price action in crypto has given us pause and forced us to ask a tough question. Should we continue to cover Bitcoin? And the answer is sadly no. So today we're having a funeral for Bitcoin. It was fun while it lasted. So many memories, so many friends. There was Tom Lee and his calls for 20,000 by year end. There was Novogratz and his calls for 40,000. And there was Ripple. I think we'll miss you most of all, Brad Garlinghouse. And then there were the characters. Bitcoin Jesus, the Oracle of Bitcoin, all 500 Ethereum co-founders, and who could forget the Coinbase screen grab and mindless trolling on Twitter.
So that was back in
2017.
And, they called Bitcoin dead. It was at $6,000.
They gave it a funeral.
They gave it a funeral on live television.
Wow.
And and now it drops below 100,000, and we're getting the same sort of sentiment. It's like, oh, it's dead. Now we're going to zero, and it's blah 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 blah, and everyone's selling, and and there's like it's all good news right now. There's nothing.
Right.
There's nothing that is tearing it down right now. So it's funny.
It is interesting to watch. So based on where it's at, are you worried, Elliot? Are you worried about Bitcoin?
0.
Are you worried, Jason?
No worries.
No worries, just hodl. That is the thing with Bitcoin that you got to do, and we're practicing that as well. Well, what do you think? So much going on in the world today. Add it to the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you for tuning in.